Welcome to High Desert Highlights. I'm Peyton Thomas, that's Steele Haugen. And Steele, we are at the point in the season where we have just one remaining undefeated team here locally.
Just one. Believe it or not, we're already 7 weeks through the season.
How about that? It's flying by. In the Summit Storm, they are that #1 team ranked in 5A entering the week. They're unstoppable so far. That last undefeated team, the Storm, go on the road looking to remain perfect against the Lava Bears. They're up 21-0 late in the first half, but the Lava Bears are threatening. Cooper completes the pass out to Max Duncan. Then the Lava Bears look to the end zone, just seconds on the clock, and the Summit DB flagged for pass interference. 4 seconds left in the half. Very last play now. Cooper takes the snap, rolls to his right, looks to the corner, and he's got his man Duncan again. On the last play, the Lava Bears strike for 6.
That's huge doing that on the last play.
Yeah, Bears have life into the second half, but it's Summit with the first second half possession. Guthrie starts with a pass out wide and is starting to find his rhythm. Next play, he goes back toward that same sideline, and suddenly the Storm are marching with a pair of first downs. Summit really going to the air raid on this drive to keep things moving. Guthrie over the middle now to Conrad Dodge. But to cap off the drive now inside the 10-yard line, they'll go back to the ground game. Jude Anderson back and healthy and into the end zone.
And he knows how to do that. He's been doing it all year long.
Bend now down 3 scores, but on third down, they're trying to get things moving. Offense, well, just isn't clicking. Incomplete pass there, and they punt it back to the Storm, and it really doesn't take Summit long. Guthrie, a long pass down the sideline. How about the catch from Willis Pineri? A couple defenders run into each other right there, and he's off to the races. The Storm, 7-0. They take down Bend 49-7.
Wow, big away win there. All right, and now to the Ridgeview Ravens. They were 4-1 tonight, and they were at home, and who did they host? The Crook County Cowboys. Now pouring down rain, that doesn't stop anyone, and it doesn't stop the Ravens from throwing the ball. This is Gage Hobbs back to pass, a dart for Logan Lee moving the chains. Ridgeview on the ground this time. Look at this defensive play by sophomore Logan Griffin.
Yeah, and this is just a tough, hard-nosed football play. You get in there and get stuck.
Now 4th down, Hobbs looks for the man downfield, throws deep, and has a man. Finn Chambers makes the catch. Touchdown, Ravens. Hayden Allen back to pass for Crook County, intercepted by sophomore linebacker Hayden Allen, who takes it to the house.
Yeah, you're lucky if you even get one of those in your career. What a moment for Allen.
For the sophomore. Now this is near the end of the first half. Trick play for the Ravens. Double reverse, wide receiver. Finn Chambers throws a perfect ball at a wide open Danner Frost. Peyton, we're going to go slow motion. So they reverse it here. You can see it in the left corner, and he's throwing a perfect ball wide open.
Yeah, he's played a lot of backyard football, tossing a pass like that to a wide open Frost. Nothing prettier than when the trick play works just like you draw it up.
That's a fun one. And the Ravens, they win big. They win 41-8.
Yeah, well, now let's take a look at Ridgeview following that big win. They're 5-1 now, still in 2-1 conference play. And other than that Summit game where they just came up against a juggernaut, Ravens look really strong this year.
Yeah, and they've done it on the defensive end. We saw the pick 6, but they've been doing that to all teams all year long.
Yeah, and I think the biggest number that sticks out on this graphic here is the points scored against the Ravens this year. It's all about that defense.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been dominant all year long.
All right, now over to Mountain View. They take on Caldera at home tonight. And speaking of the defense, well, this one was certainly about defense for the majority of the first half. Scoreless midway through the second quarter, and the Wolfpack getting in the Mountain View backfield for the sack. Now Caldera gets the possession, but Angel Valenzuela hits the spin move, gets into the backfield, and he gets home, causing the strip sack, and Mountain View takes over.
It's huge when you can do it offensively and defensively.
And now with the good position, Cougars trying to take advantage on the ground. They're pounding their way inside the 10, then finally inside the 5. They hand it off to Valenzuela, and Angel makes it look easy, spinning off a couple defenders, powering into pay dirt. Later in the half, Mountain View back on the attack, and, well, guess what? This is a ground and pound football team. They're going to stick with it. They hand off to Carpenter, who finds his way inside the 10 for a first down and more, and then again outside the goal line. It's back to the run game. Hey, if you can't stop it, if they can't stop it, you keep running it. Touchdown, Mountain View. They overpower Caldera 38-0. Let's take a look at tonight's 5A IMC scoreboard. Steele, what do you like?
Well, a lot of blowouts. The Ravens bounce back and the Cougars bounce back. They're looking good. Yeah, they certainly are. That brings us to tonight's updated IMC standings, and Steele, really 3 teams starting to emerge in this division. Of course, Summit on top, and then Mountain View and Ridgeview just not far behind if they happen to slip up the Storm. Yeah, we were talking about it. With only 2 games left, it really seems like these are the 3 teams that really cemented themselves as those top dogs in the IMC. All right, we'll see how things shake out in the final few weeks of the year. More scores and highlights coming up after the break. Welcome back to High Desert Highlights. And Peyton, this was a big game for the Sisters Outlaws, and it was their homecoming game tonight. This is the crowning of the king and queen here coming up, a timeless tradition. Who's gonna win? I'm guessing it's the girl with her mouth wide open.
I'm guessing going with the crown.
With the crown and the tiara. Now, let's get to the game. This was a battle of the defenses. That was 4th down here. Quarterback Trent Gordon back to pass through the receiver's hands. Tough turnover. Now Madras with the ball. Freshman quarterback Julian Baharas. Quick pass to Gavin Williams, who gets a nice gain. Next play, handoff up the middle. It's stripped by sophomore Tyler Johnson, who could go. Oh, just barely tackled by Orion Reynoso, who saves the touchdown. This is absolutely a great play.
Crazy shoelace tackle.
On both sides.
Look at that. I mean, just getting enough of the man there.
Great strip, great tackle. Now second quarter, 0-0. Barajas back to pass, throws to triple coverage, intercepted by Jace Owens for the Sisters.
And this is just peak tip drill right here. This is defensive backs flying to the football. It goes up in the air, and Owens the one who's paying attention.
Trent Gordon back to pass. His pass is intercepted by Orion Reynoso. He gets the tackle. Now he gets the interception. And if you're wondering where all the touchdowns are, well, there were none. Sisters beat Madras 3-0 in overtime. Peyton, that's a 3-0 score.
0 in overtime. I can't tell you the last time one of our games went scoreless at the end of regulation. What a battle there, but hey, if you're Sisters, I don't think you care how it comes. At home on homecoming night, you get the win. Let's take a look now at our 3A scoreboard and steal the only other game that was local, Lapine at home, blown out by a good Pleasant Hill team.
And I'm still shocked. Madras has had trouble stopping people all year, and Sisters has had trouble not scoring the ball all year, and that happened on both.
Yeah, all right, and finally our small school scoreboard for our 2A and 1A teams locally here. Culver last night in action at Bonanza, they get the big win, and then Gilchrist gets a forfeit victory. Days Creek didn't have enough active players to play that game.
And Culver with a big bounce-back win after losing to Lost River last week. #1 team in the state.
Yeah, huge win for Culver there. Let's take a look at our 3A standings now. And Steele, Sisters now really on top of this division. And that OSAA ranking at number 5 in 3A, this is not where Sisters started the year. This is a football team that's really coming together. And look, you didn't see it on the offensive side of the ball tonight, but this is a group that's really coming together on the defensive side of the ball and is competing with a lot of the best in 3A.
Yeah, the win tonight was huge because if they lose to a team with Madras that's 1-5, that ranking and that league record, that goes way down.
Yeah, Lapine still looking for their first win. Madras 1-1 in conference play now. They had that win over Lapine last weekend. Okay, the Oregon Lightning indoor professional football team located in Redmond is already gearing up for another season. It's hard to believe.
I know.
But the Lightning excited to announce open tryouts for the upcoming season. They're seeking talented and dedicated athletes ready to compete at a professional level. Participants will have the opportunity to demonstrate their skills in front of the coaches who are committed to building a fast, competitive roster.
To be able to come out here and give your all, you're definitely going to be competing on a pro level with pro guys. You got guys that come out of all these big Division I colleges, and we play in some really big markets. So you got to be fast, you got to be in shape, and you just got to work as hard as you can, man. You get some guys who come out of shape, and hey, you can't do that. You got to be in shape. You have to be ready to work hard. You got to be able to listen and take direction, because that's a big part of the game.
The tryout is this Saturday at the Cascade Indoor Soccer Arena from 4 to 6 p.m. And Steele, I know we both tried out, quote unquote, tried out for the Lightning last year. Great news story. Take a look at Oregon Lightning on our website if you haven't. But those guys are big, athletic. I mean, this is a professional football team, really a lot of talent.
Yeah, the size of these football players was really what stood out to me. I played football all my life, and the size of those football players is another level.
Yeah, neither of us really stood a chance during that tryout, but I would say we certainly gave it our all.
We gave it our best.
Yeah,
gave it our best.
Absolutely. Now on to our top plays of the night, and Steele, we had several of them out there.
Yes, we did, and my favorite one, heading back to Ridgeview. And Peyton, I still can't get over this. A wide receiver reverse pass for a touchdown in the rain.
Yeah, gotta love it when it comes together, and Ridgeview executed that perfectly. Next, we head out over to Bend, and it's the Summit pass, Guthrie to Paneri. This really put the game away. Summit up multiple scores in the second half, and this is just a perfect throw, but watch the defenders colliding into each other, and that allows Paneri to just get on his horse and get to the end zone.
And last but not least, we're going to head back to Sisters High School. A diving interception by Jace Owens. Thanks to his tip by teammate Spencer Davis. And this is just a great play. One more in slow motion just because I like it.
Yeah, great heads-up play there. Okay, now we look ahead to next week. Very interesting matchup. The Ridgeview Ravens are at home, and this time they take on Bend High. Bend High looking to bounce back after the tough loss.
Yeah, and the Ravens have looked really well this season. Bend's been kind of on the brink in the middle. They've beaten the teams they should and lost to the teams they maybe shouldn't have.
All right, well, we'll see